Very good visit.
I'm gonna go get that.
.24/7 monitoring and customized security solutions designed for businesses just like yours. Because downtime isn't just inconvenience, venting and protect what you build.
All right, let's go ahead and stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Welcome, everybody. Happy Monday. Hope everybody had a good Mother's Day for the mothers in here. Mark is out today, and so we got still a quorum with 4 of us present.
He's out for Mother's Day?
He's out today for the meeting.
Oh,
Yep, he's out for the meeting today.
I'm bleeding it, gee.
No. Let's start with the approved agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, motion carries. We'll go open up public comments. Is there any public comments today?
So, okay, so I'll just say that the coverage in the newspapers between Karen and Mike is really good. I'm just glad you guys get that done. Informing the public, so at least they can call in and ask questions if they don't understand something. Thank you.
All right, anybody else? Other comments? Okay, close public comments. Next item, discuss, approve 5/4/26 regular minutes.
I make that motion. Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Engineer road projects report.
Okay, looks like we're rocking chlorides, which I've seen that with my travels through the county. Dump trucks are hauling for the chloride and they should have that done this week. Rebladed K Avenue, and we'll continue to do that weekly. That's all I got.
Okay.
Pretty short and brief.
Yeah, no, that works.
Blade through some of the chlorides after they did it,
I would imagine, no, they're not blading through.
or there's some of them are pretty rough,
They really
they're
are.
choppy.
I'll forward that on and see what we can do. Hate to ruin the chlorides, but we'll figure out something.
Yeah, I think we ended up right off of 63 there on K. We had to just go through because it was the road, where everybody's accelerating and braking. So
Yep.
I did notice that too when I came this morning, that it's pretty rumbly, like when you come from that landfill highway onto the rocks again. So we can let them know. They're doing a really good job taking care of it every time I get a hold of Terry, they're handling pretty much every issue, and, people that didn't like going on K Avenue are giving compliments, it's the best they've seen in a long time, so. Appreciate the work that the road department's doing.
Lori, and free rumble strips.
Rumble.
Mumble.
Here goes Mike.
And it's free. You don't have to pay for it. Yeah. I would say in the next probably week, Highway 63 is gonna get a lot more messy. They're gonna start breaking up the, current road. So it's gonna be undrivable pretty much besides shoulders. They're moving people's mailboxes, off that live on 63. So I would say it's in the next week or two, it'll probably get.
Did you get cited yet?
What's that?
Did you get cited yet?
Cited,
Cited?
citation.
No,
Citation.
nope, I don't drive it.
No?
I get off and go on K Avenue.
So did you get a citation?
No.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
You know what, Nikki Novak got a citation.
Did you?
She's like, I live here.
Yeah. Must have drove it too long or what?
Too long of a stretch, possibly.
Like, who knows?
Yeah, but they let it go,
Yeah, yep, but. Okay. Any other,
We have a comment online.
Yep.
Stacy Zeman says dust control possibilities for K Avenue intersections are not enough. I about got killed in a head-on with town people not used to driving gravel. That was in the middle of the road yesterday in between intersection where there was no dust control. H Avenue is getting to be just as bad with the other detours.
and I guess they did all the intersections, but I don't know, I wonder how long it's gonna last, the more people that are driving. There's some areas that I can tell, like, there's no dust behind me, but other areas it's, so. Yeah, we'll just have to watch. I mean, it's all the DOT would be the ones to reapply it, not the county, so we'll just continue to keep it as smooth as we can and see what we can get done there, I guess, with working with the DOT.
So I would like to agree with Stacy. I know you just said there's been a lot of compliments,
Yeah,
but I hear the criticisms too.
Yeah.
And I'm not criticizing
Yeah.
myself.
yep, and it's not gonna be perfect, with that much traffic on a gravel road, it's gonna make washboards, it's almost impossible for it to be perfect with that much traffic,
Perfect.
yeah,
Well,
but we'll do the best we can, and,
good would be all right.
yeah.
So is business? We're in public comments, right?
No.
We're in
It's still in.
engineer,
Sorry. But my mind was elsewhere right now. So is business 30 hours? And the reason I'm asking is I'm seeing a lot of traffic going through the KC parking lot to get around the detours, and they're flying out there, so I don't know.
I would say that city.
Well, the city would be Casey's, but the road, I believe, is ours. Are we responsible for that?
Or is it just on the outside of the city?
It's outside the city.
Okay, I'll talk to the mayor, because there's people abusing that. And I mean, it's unsafe flying through the parking lot. So,
all right, next item is discussion possible action on home-based Iowa application. So we had approved to have home-based Iowa in Tama County, which is pretty exciting. We had a first applicant submit their information. Going through it, we had just approved that resolution to verify some of the information, so, in the resolution, we need to make sure that their name is listed on the actual property, that's coming, that they're gonna be purchasing or renting. Like with, our Veterans Affairs, that they do have a military status, so looking through, I don't think that's been done yet. We'll look to the auditor's office as well as Chad to kind of help us verify that piece. So my thought would be to take no action today because we need to do these checks and balances first. And then at that point, we could go ahead and, review it for approval. That sounds fair to everybody?
yeah, I would say yes. I know he's got a CAC card here that shows he's active,
Okay,
so
so at least that part would be,
and he's wearing a uniform in his CAC card.
Yep.
It doesn't expire to 29,
okay,
so I would say this person's, but I don't know what else they would do to verify he's actually.
okay, Yep.
I think at the bottom here, it says he doesn't currently reside.
right. And they need to,
I
right?
think the idea was that they would have at least the, like, the rental agreement signed
Right,
or like,
for the mortgage at least.
Yeah.
Do they need a close on it probably, or like,
I think
at what
if it's
point is their name on it?
I mean, it's, you guys can do whatever you
Yeah.
want, but the way it was kind of put in is that if they're buying a home,
Yep,
they have to have like the financing and the closure done.
right,
At least if they're leasing or renting,
yeah,
they just have to have the rest.
a lease and stuff, yeah. That's my thought too. It's like, it's probably good, but that's our job to make sure we have the checks and balances, so. So yeah, I think we'll just, you guys agree, we'll just have the auditor office get all the information for us and then. Cause they should be able to work with the different departments here to see if, at what point this individual, is listed on either a rental or a mortgage or
Right,
follow up the next step, so,
because he currently lives in Polk County.
Yeah.
According to this, so
yep,
we're not providing coverage for that.
yeah. Yep.
I would agree, we table it or not table it, we just
Take
no
no
action until we get more information.
Okay, everybody okay with that? Okay, so we'll take no action on that one. Discussion possible action to set public hearing for fiscal year 26 budget amendment.
So I asked that to be placed in our, on the agenda so that we can set a public hearing for the, departments that need budget amendments. And have that done before the end of this fiscal year. So I would recommend you can set a public hearing for June 8th at 8:45 a.m. at your meeting.
8:45, you said?
Yep.
I'll make a motion that we set the public hearing for the FY 26 budget amendment for 6/8 at 08:45.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor, say
All right,
aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion possible action on resolution 5-11-2026A to appropriate last 10% of budgets to designated departments. So as everybody remembers, we had held back 10% on majority of departments. There was a few that we know it's gonna all be spent, so we did give the 100%. We just gave 90% to most departments, so what Karen put on the agenda here for us is, do we want to appropriate the rest of that 10% to all of these different departments? So I guess I'll open it up for feedback on thoughts of what we want to do.
Do they need it?
that's the question I had.
So most departments will need it because a lot of it's their budgets is what that covers. So like my department, I will need that last 10% to cover our payroll since we don't have any revenues or anything.
So what about the Board of Supervisors?
You will need that because it's for the ARPA money. It was not in the budget to use up all that ARPA money, so like part of why yours is, and it was for legal expenses that there's the extra ones that you weren't.
And the rest of these pretty much are basically for pay, right? Is that,
We'll
that's,
start, yep.
is there anything that's not?
I know like with public health, and Lori's here that she can talk also that, you know, they had a part of theirs is the budget amendment that's coming up also. They spent more money on other services. And so therefore, that's why they need their 10% is to cover those services now until they get that budget amendment.
And it was also for things that we didn't budget for because we had to have our budget within a certain amount. So like the therapy services that we have to provide for our Medicare clients and the other insurances. We only budgeted 13,000. Well, that's 1 month's worth of payment to them. So we didn't have enough budgeted on that line for that service that we have to provide.
Does all the items have an offsetting revenue or income or grant or something coming in to offset it? Or is there a pretty large gap that there's not an offsetting revenue?
There should be revenue coming back for those, yes.
And so that revenue would then come back to the general fund,
That's all the revenue goes to the general fund.
right? So in other words, if we prove that, anything that's over and above has to come back to general.
All of it goes to the general fund
Yeah.
anyway.
My point being, if we go, are we talking $1 million or how much are we talking?
So their last 10% is 177,000.
177,000.
The budget amendment that they're asking for was
266
266.
or somewhere around there.
Was how much?
266,000. And another one that we didn't budget much for was the well closure grant. Doing, again, we only budgeted, I think it was $3,000 and the grant amount is like 39,000 that we can receive.
Numbers run, so how much, we're talking 177,800 change.
Correct.
How much do you expect to come in from the grants and stuff? To reimburse?
We had asked for an amendment of 266. So then. I following you? I'm not sure.
No.
How much do you,
Is that the
revenue, how much revenue you were expecting?
So you need $90,000 to operate
Over and above what was budgeted?
over and above what was budgeted. Is that correct? You're asking for 266,000, there's 177 left to the 10%. That's $90,000 over.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, let me pull up my other sheet. So the well closure grant, we budgeted $2,500. And we need to amend that line by 39,954. That's for potential additional reimbursable expenses. 3,000 of that grant is for advertising. And we show that to that expense line. So the bioterrorism, we received, we were awarded 33,000, we received an additional 8,500. That was to be paid to the Tama EMS Association for fiscal year 25. We had to submit that on our fiscal year 25 billing, we paid that to them in July. That is reimbursing them for trainings that they held, and then for fiscal year 26, they were awarded again $8,500 that has to be submitted to our invoices. And then we have an avian flu grant that we received $6,000 and a second draft for $69,888. So the 12,988. And then we have BMRC carryover funding, 3,224. So the total for the bioterrorism is 66,213. And SKIP, we had donations that we received that were $3,491 and we received potentially we have DCAT funding that we can also get reimbursed for expenses. So we have expenses that we have to incur first before we're reimbursed, the amount of $2,400. So that line needs to be amended by 7,892. And our contracted services, which is the therapies, we budgeted 13,500 and we need to amend that line by 128,920. And that was based on year-to-date expenses and then for the rest of the year. So that total line needs to be 142,421. And then the NEST program, we received donations in the amount of $8,956 from private individuals. So that's why we need to amend that one. And then public health donations, we've received $1,057.95. So that's why we're asking that one to be amended. So total amendments are $266,495.
So the amendment's not just expenses, it's also revenues is why you're having to offset.
Right.
Is it a 1-for-1 to where you'll end up in the positive? Like, is there more?
I wouldn't say we'd end up in the positive, it should be a wash.
Okay.
Because we can't get more back than what we're expensing.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, I wish we could keep it separate, but it's just what, you know, when there's revenue, it's these departments that do bring in revenue, it's hard because you have to expend it and then get it back, you know, so it's not an easy solution for sure on.
And that amendment request did not factor in the 10%. If you would get that back, that was still assuming that we wouldn't get that 10%. So that makes a difference as well.
But you need that 10% though?
According to Karen.
We have to, otherwise there'll be out of money before you have to appropriate that money for them to be able to use it.
So this,
Have to.
And then we get dinged on audit if we don't do it.
but this resolution is just everybody.
It's the ones.
Just
that
everybody, but we
Here.
can make,
But
And they're included on it.
Yes, they're included, yes.
So this is if we wanted to give everybody the 10% back. We don't have to, but again, if otherwise we're gonna get dinged on audit.
Right.
Karen says, yeah, we almost need to. I mean, you're recommending based on how things look, we need to.
So
Their
the,
budget's used at 92%, I believe, so
What's the extra $88,190 look like that they're asking for on top? Or she's asked for 266,495.
But you won't do the amendment until June.
It sounds like it's offset by revenue is,
and we expect to get that revenue before July the 1st.
No, you will not.
that makes it even more tricky, right? When will we get it roughly?
2 or 3 months down the road, it just depends on how fast those grants reimburse us.
So with this resolution, how much are we actually moving? 147,180 some dollars?
their 10% was 177,000, so if you approve the 10%, they'd get 177,000.
No, I'm talking,
For
he's
everyone.
talking, at the bottom of the page, it says we're giving, we haven't even discussed the sheriff yet.
Now you have to take 10% off of that,
Yeah.
it goes off of that.
Right.
Value. So is it 1,471,897.10 then? You just take 10% of it, right? So 1.5 almost, 1.4.
So have we saved any money? Using the 10% goal? The whole people is accountable for not overspending.
I mean, I won't use up my full 10%. So you'll get money back or saved in the general battery. I can tell you that. I'm pretty sure the recorder, other than their salaries, if they won't spend their full 10%, but I can't tell you how much of that 10%.
Right, so that's been the whole goal of holding back 10%.
Correct.
Because typically at the end of the fiscal year, they start buying, people start wasting money. I watched it for 40 years now. People just, oh, I got money, we need to spend it. No, we don't. So,
I think departments have been doing a better job of not just spending.
so are we getting, does your office get the items, detailed items of what money's being spent for? Or is it all,
It's in your, yeah, like the invoice and everything.
right?
We get the invoice,
This
but
piece of
you go
paper.
back and look, For your expenditures.
Okay. Yeah. Cause my goal is that we save money. And I'm not sure that the 10% I think is working. The issue is behind the 10%. I think we need to see a little bit more detail. I know we get this every week. But I'd like to see more of a details for the next 2 months. Okay. If we have to do it, we have to do it. So I'll make a motion that we approve resolution. Wait a minute, before we do that, sheriff's in here.
Yes.
Did you go over your budget?
Yeah, I say no, he's not going. over.
Okay, I just wanna make sure. So it's on the record.
Now that you write down.
Yeah, welcome back, by the way. Okay, I make a motion, we approve resolution 5-11-2026A.
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second discussion. I know from my standpoint, I think, last time there was a lot of mileage and cell phone reimbursement right at the end of the year for like 6 months at a time. I think it'd be good at some point that we get a policy that it's like every 30 days, or I guess just a message to department heads, let's go ahead and make sure the end of the year, get those done quickly, or if you're behind, get those submitted, because otherwise we just, oh, we're looking good, and then all of a sudden we get all this reimbursement all at the end, which it's not a ton, but it's still every bit adds up. So
Right.
make sure that those are getting done timely, because sometimes you don't remember what you ate yesterday. If you're doing something from 4 months ago, there could be errors too. So it's good to do those quicker.
That's definitely an issue, what Dave's talking about. I mean, when they have
Yeah.
excess money, it's like, hey, we can get new furniture for the office or, you know. But I think they've done a pretty good job since we've been in such a dire strait here last couple of years, so. I think the idea is working, the 10% is working, I mean. And hopefully we'll get money back, you know, like Karen said, she's gonna get, probably won't use it all and everything, so. It's something we have to do, I guess.
And somewhere down the line, I'm gonna bring up not doing telephone reimbursements because I don't know anybody who gets charged extra money for using their phone. I mean, I call internationally a lot less, so I think we're spending money that we don't need to spend for telephone reimbursements. We'll talk about that somewhere else.
Yeah, and hopefully department heads too, with what the state's doing to continue to limit what we get.
Yep.
Be careful what you're spending on, cause obviously, like, if we continue to get less money, departments are gonna have to pick and choose. Obviously, this is required things, but there's wants versus needs, so, obviously take a look at that, so you don't end up go out and buy a bunch of stuff, and then, oh, I guess I need this, and now I can't buy it, you know?
Did I read that correctly from? That they haven't passed that 2% for sure? The limit to.
It's gonna be signed by the governor.
Oh, that's that far?
Yeah.
Okay,
It's mainly general supplemental, they removed that from it, which is like the health insurance FICA items, that's not capped currently, and it will stay not capped.
okay.
But some of the other things will be capped now, like,
And what Dean sent
for
us.
the growth, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Any other discussion? Okay, roll call.
Homer,
Aye.
Turner,
Aye.
Knibble.
Aye.
Kuka.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, next item, discussion of possible action on contract with Cost Advisory Services, so. Last week, we had this on the agenda and approved, now it's kind of the contract behind it. Unless you have anything to add, Karen, that looks
So
like.
you're exactly right. They're the ones that have been doing the service for us for the last 3 years, and now that contract is up, so they're just wanting us to sign a new contract with them for the next week.
And it's the same contract we signed in the past. I did run it by Brent and he said there's no deal breakers. I mean, there's obviously things that we could always look at for future, you know, or if we want to, but 92 other counties have also signed this. So I guess my thought would be, there's no deal breakers. We just sign it. It's kind of just reimbursing us money, right, for the DHS item. So but you guys can decide there what you want to do.
So basically, it looks like what they did is the companies figured out how to work with the state and all the different counties and keep track of the monies. So that they're saying, well, hey, you're getting this kind of money back, and then they're charging for doing that service. I would say it makes sense to do it right now, because otherwise, would that fall to your office to go through and check every line item, so.
Extra time.
It's the cost for the service.
4,000 is usually what it is yearly,
Yearly,
just a little over 4,000, yeah.
4,000 for 3 years.
If the bill's in your weekly thing this month, I want to say it's like 4,450, something like that.
Oh, it's in here.
Second time I'd show you that.
Yeah.
It's under Department
Well, that's not inside in here.
Aren't we getting back like 60-some thousand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so $4,450, and we net $60-some thousand back, so.
So it'd have to be a motion to have Heather sign it today. I make a motion that the co-chair head honcho today can sign. Vice chair, sorry, not co, yeah, you mean vice chair, and sign the cost advisory contract.
I second that.
Okay, motion a second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Discussion possible action regarding copier contracts.
That's mine. So we've had three bids come in. One of them, I've been discussing with, one of them is going to go back and resubmit. Long story short, No, I won't talk anymore about it because I don't wanna
Yeah.
influence a bit, so
Right.
we'll have to bring that back. He's supposed to get back to me this week for the change, so.
Okay.
But in the long run, we're gonna be saving money.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. And it is looking better to lease versus buy, correct? Like, cause they,
Not necessarily,
are you looking at both options?
look at 4 different
Four
options,
different, okay.
so.
Yeah, this has been on my radar since the moment I saw that huge copier contract fees and our claims. I'm like, so thank you for heading that up and,
I hope to have I think we should put this on the agenda for next week. I hope to have that last
okay,
bid in, and I'll present
okay.
the recommendation.
Whichever one you're looking at recommending for us, can you run that by Brent before we, also approve, like, get on the agenda just to make sure he's good with the language in it?
I can do that, then we'll have to push it out 2 or 3 weeks.
And, yeah, as long as you text him,
Yeah,
he'll get it done if you let him.
well, like I said, these are existing contracts,
Oh, there,
so.
okay,
We can probably, I'll talk to Brent about it, I have talked about something else. So.
okay,
But yeah, they're existing contracts, all they would be doing is changing
yep,
the numbers inside.
okay, what they do for other, okay. Okay, so no action today, but
Election.
discussion, all right. Discussion, approved claims, I do have one change, but I'll let you, if you wanna read it, or you want me to do the change first?
If we get a change, let's do the change, Brent.
So, under Board of Supervisors, there's the Eddie Bailey item, for the 10,361.50. It sounds like per Iowa code, Mark was having a discussion with Brenton, and in case he was copying out, Casey was out, there's a part of the Iowa code, if you wanna look at Casey, that you have to do, something from your side. It's not giving us all the information of what you're doing, but it explicitly says what Brent does and what you do. So we just need Casey's part of that, and then at that point, we can bring it back and approve it.
So you're saying taking out the 10.
I'm saying, yeah, remove that Bailey of the 10,361.50 until Casey gets us that, information. And I think you're copied on it, just let me know if you don't see that email, but it just says in there in Iowa code what you would do, so. That's the only change that I had.
I gotta do
What
one
was
man.
it, 10,000 what?
10,361.50.
10361.5.
All right, you ready?
Yeah,
186. 005.26.
Mike, did you get that?
186,005.26. $186,005.26. What it changed it to.
I make a motion that we approve that amount.
It's up, there was a second, expenditure report for health. Also,
But is this a separate one that we're gonna do?
you
or
can do
part of
all the
this?
same motion, but just call out that you're approving that amount also.
Okay, so,
Regular claims of $186,005.26.
yep, and $96.90. And this is for group benefits
Health fund.
health fund. It says the heart.
But it's out of the health account.
That comes out of the health fund.
Okay, $96.90. So I make a motion, we approve both of those amounts. Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, let's go and do supervisor reports for new business. Any supervisor reports for today?
I think
Real quick, I'm still working on the printer contracts. We've had a denial of service again. So we're working on us fixing that. So Tori had to come in dark 30 on Thursday night to resolve that. That's something we can't physically do, or we physically have to be here to do that. And they're working on the recorder for the 911 service. Yeah, we're doing good. Good on all that.
Said you're good. You got anything?
everything.
I know I listened in on the economic development. I know Jake's still doing a good job pounding the pavement, and you were met with Dysert, Champer over there, so that was a good visit there, and so Jake can give him some help over there, but if there's anything else you want to speak to?
Yeah, so I did visit, Stanton, Iowa, family years ago, familiar with it. It's a community of like 800 people down by like Red Oak, it's Montgomery County. And the reason I went down there, so Dysart has a situation where they have a telephone cooperative, Stanton does too. And those businesses can leverage a lot of funds, to do some pretty amazing things, and so I went down there to learn about it. It's really cool to see it. It's a 800 people, and their main street is all the buildings are redone. They have a technology park that is growing and filling up. I think they've done something like 27 spec homes in the last 20 years. And they funded it through those 800 people. And so we're doing some plans on doing a trip down there, trying to get some people in the county to, because it's a good case study for what economic development looks like and all the pieces that go into it. It's not like their community's better than ours, it's just they figured out a formula that's really easy, so it was really exciting to see. That's the place, by the way, which used to be like Little White City, they called it. So the Swedish heritage and all the houses were painted white.
Uh-huh.
And there's still a lot of like, there's some other colored houses now, but there's a lot of people who like, it used to be back in the day, people paint other people's houses in the middle of the night. So, but it was a good trip, and they're really excited to kind of help our county with understanding all the steps and things they've done. So that's the project that's on my radar. But
Perfect. Okay, thanks, Jake. I think that's all I have as well. We will open up public comments again here. Is there any?
I thought you were holding over to today, the 4-day, 5-day, road.
For the roads? I haven't heard anything
I
back.
haven't seen anything back yet. They're supposed to
Did
come up
you
with
or
a
Mark,
plan.
who was you guys relayed that to the union then?
Yeah,
again?
Mark is, they're
Okay.
supposed to come up with a plan to cover the Friday or Mondays, it's kind of split, and then
Okay.
we'll come back to it.
So that is still on hold then? That's no decision has been made on that, then,
No, we're
correct?
waiting on them.
Okay,
Cause it was after Memorial Day that we usually, so you got a little bit of, couple weeks here anyway, so that one will come back.
thank you.
Yep. Any other public comments? Okay. Close public comments. The only thing we're gonna get a motion adjourned, but we do have a 10:30 work session to discuss jail needs, so that's on there to come, but otherwise, I think we got everything. Unless anybody sees anything, otherwise I'll look for a motion adjourned.
Make that motion. Second.
Okay, motion a second, all in favor?
All right.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 9:06.
Is that a public meeting for the jail needs?
I don't see why not. UKC, was there any reason to not be public?
I'll double check with the
Okay.
jail inspector's over there now.
Who's already here?
Yeah, he got here at 8:30,
Okay.
so I'll double
Should I
check.
ready to go sooner?
I have not been over there yet to find out.
Yeah. Well, keep us updated if it's sooner.
So